Hello, Visions, and welcome to this session of our curriculum fair for 2025. I'm joined by Scott and April, who will be presenting on home science tools. Scott, April, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much for having us. My name is Scott Burns. We're going to be connecting real world connections to science. So we're going to talk about how do you engage, how do you get your students and your children excited about what they're going to learn, and where are those authentic learning experiences outside of the learning environment. So I'm excited to be here with you today. I've got a new friend that I'm going to introduce you to at the end of our presentation. Um, One thing, if you can see my screen all right, at the bottom, you're going to see the presentation link for this. I've also put it in the chat bar as well, and I'll be sending it over to Kaylee for everyone to be able to download and look at some of the links that are on there. But we're really excited to be here, and I want to jump in right away by introducing myself. I'm Scott Burns. I'm the National Sales Director at Home Science Tools. I've been in the educational space for 25 years. I'm really excited to be here because as a student who struggled in school, the one thing that captured my interest and caught me and got me back into and changed my trajectory as a human is the classroom and science. When I found a teacher who just understood that I loved sharks and I loved to blow things up and I loved the whole dissections, they really harnessed that inner Scotty and changed the way who I am today. And so I'm excited to share not only a little bit about home science tools, but about resources that you can go and select that are going to make an impact in your students' lives. So, home science tools, we've been doing this for over 30 years. We're your headquarters for hands-on science. We believe that hands-on learning is that sticky learning, that mental Velcro. When you put a concept in front of a child, they might get it, they might grasp at it, but until they put their hands on it and they start to manipulate and start to have that kinesthetic learning, that's where that mental Velcro comes in. We always talk about our three pillars: exceptional learning, elevated teaching, and reliable expertise. We're so lucky. We have some incredible product developers and designers that have either been in the classroom, who have been in sciences in different areas, that are creating really authentic, really hands-on, really engaging science labs for your students' enjoyment. And not only are they going to have fun doing it, but they're going to learn so much about the foundational elements of science. And so we're really excited to be here. I'm really excited to show you a couple of different things. So the three things that we are going to accomplish today, I'm going to deep dive into some science resources. I'm going to show you what we have to offer, some new partnerships that we have that are available, and then what are some like incredible hands-on learning experiences that you can do with your students outside of the learning environment. And I know that in this space that we are, the learning environment can be everywhere. So I just want you to remember that when you're out and about, science is abundant. It is everywhere, and we just have to keep our eyes open for where those learning opportunities are. And then at the end, we have some really new exciting news, a new friend that I'm going to introduce you to who's going to help out all of your students and all your scholars in California. But the first question I get a ton, it's something is what are the areas in my different area of my students' learning that I need to focus in on? And when you're thinking about elementary, middle, and high school, those are your areas that most of our families are looking at is what do I need to accomplish? And if you just looked at the life science, earth science, and physical science aspects of building out what you need to get accomplished, when you're looking at those elementaries, it's the foundational elements, plants and animals, human body, ecosystems. When you're talking about earth science, we're talking about weathers and seasons. We're talking about rocks and mineral. We're starting to get into the solar system. And then you go into the physical science, now you're getting into matter and energy, motion and simple machines, early on STEM sort of areas. When you're getting into the middle school, this is the most critical time that you can get your student excited about science. A lot of time, our young learners are losing interest in the sciences because they don't have access to really great hands-on science labs and experiments. And a lot of times it's just theory, and people are talking at them about the sciences. So now we're getting into some deeper learning, some more building on that foundation, right? We're building the the scaffolding that we're going to start to learn off of. So now when you're talking about life sciences, we're going to cells and genetics. We're going to human body systems. We're going into biodiversity. When you're looking at the earth sciences, you're looking beyond weather. You're going into Earth's layers and plate tectonics, climate and climate change and space sciences. When you're talking about the physical science aspect of it, now we're getting into chemical reactions. Now we're getting into force and motion, electricity and magnetism. But the most important area that a lot of parents are asking about is how do I make sure that my students are A to G ready, that they meet the requirements for their high school areas? And I would tell you, even if your students are not going to go into a field of bio, medical or chemistry, you need to make sure that they have great biology and chemistry in order to graduate. And so you're talking about cellular biology and genetics and human anatomy. Chemistry, you're looking at now the periodic tables, chemical bonds. You're looking at a lot of more advanced type, and then you start getting into a lot of the hardcore math. When you get into chemistry and physics, you're starting to look at a lot more math that is coming your way. You're looking at energy, waves, electricity, and then of course you have earth sciences as well. You have the geology, meteorology, oceanography. A very popular high school course that a lot of families look at is ocean biography. Californians, we all know how important the ocean is to our ecosystem and to the world, but you also have astronomy as well. So I want you to just think about these are some of the topics when you're looking at items, when you're selecting from home science tools and you're looking at science resources. These are some of the areas you definitely want to look into. I'll say this, and it's been a pleasure. We've been working with Visions for so many years. Your families have been coming back to us year over year, finding some really incredible resources. So I want to dive in right now, and I want to take a deeper dive into what does home science tools have to offer? What is it that, we're going after, and where can we find some of these resources? One of our premier and flagship items is Science Unlocked. Many of the families of Visions have been coming to us looking at this. Basically, it's an all-in-one curriculum in a box where you can find phenomenon-driven NGSS aligned resources. And when I mean phenomenon, Science Unlocked looks at what is a big problem we're solving? What is something that our students need to learn? And what is that hook? And maybe it's nuclear energy. Maybe it's blast off and learning about rocket ships. We take a big phenomenon and we allow the students to be self-paced, self-guided, working through a student workbook that allows them to have everything that they might need in one singular box going through it. You learn, you do, you learn, you do. And as you're working through that, you have your simple assessments and your inquiry-based questions that the students will handwrite, they'll get into, they'll learn more about. The one thing I really love about it, and the product developers and designers were really thoughtful when they did this, is we want this to be easy to use. And so what we did when we designed it is there's a student workbook and there's a teacher workbook. The teacher workbook is meant for you to be able to have at home anytime to answer any questions, common misconceptions. What do you think I might need to be prepared for? So it makes the science easier for the parent or the facilitator of the learning to be able to do. We know that the other part is you got to have all the stuff because otherwise you're running around trying to gather, rocks or gravel. We put everything in there right for you, easy to get, easy to plan out, and it's ready to go. There are over 90 different selections of Science Unlocked kits, kindergarten all the way through high school. So if your student's really excited and they want to do an eye dissection, we got I Spy. If they want to learn about chemical reactions, we've got Fizz Foam Fire. Maybe they just want to go deeper into their science learning and they want to learn about nuclear energy. We've got Naturally Nuclear. So looking at whatever theme, whatever phenomenon might be the most important to that family or that learner, we have something just for you. So take a look at Science Unlocked. I guarantee you're not going to be disappointed in it. But let's look at all of our areas of focus, right? Biology and chemistry are probably two of the most important areas. One thing I was so excited to see, There are so many families that are getting dissections. I think dissections are one of the coolest things you can do for your science learners. I don't know about you, but the one thing I remember in school was dissecting the frog. And every single animal is a little bit different inside. While they all have the core fundamental items, when you're doing an owl pellet dissection, you never know what you're going to get inside of that. And I just really love the fact that you're looking at some of these different great resources when it comes to the life sciences and biology, chemistry. Chemical reactions, chemistry in general. We have chemistry kits, safety equipment. Again, making sure that when you're doing those chemistry and those biologies, you have your not only your gloves, your safety goggles, and all the different lab and equipment materials that you need, we have them for you. And then when you start getting into some of the really exciting items, STEM and STEAM have taken over, and a lot of families really just want to do more STEM-based learning. So that's science, technology, engineering, and math. And what you're seeing now is a lot of robotics, a lot of coding, a lot of electricity, and also building. So you have a lot more opportunities to do different force and motion or electricity and engineering kits. These are a selection of some of our really fun different ones. I would tell you BristleBots and making these little robots that jiggle around are super fun. But at the end of the day, you're getting awesome lessons that build on foundational elements that the students can take with them as they start going through their different areas. We're really excited because we have two partners that a lot of people, some people don't know about and some do. Science Buddies has been a partner of ours for several years. Science Buddies is basically experiments where you can go online and you have all the equipment sent over to you to build all these awesome science DIY drones, roller coasters. So check out Science Buddies if you're going to do a science fair. I'm going to talk about science fair in just a minute, so don't go anywhere. And then our other new partner is Bright Thinker. Now, there are several different curriculums that are out there. We actually partner with 12 different curriculums. And if you need a curriculum resource arranged to your curriculum, we have a curriculum for you that we can do it. Or we could build a custom kit for visions and help build your needs that you might have. But I want to talk about how you can extend science beyond your four walls. And the first thing I'm going to say is go to the library, people. Please, please, please just go to the library. There are so many incredible books that are out there for your science learners. Ada Twist, Scientist, and Rosie Revere, Engineer are two of the greatest young reader books right now. You can get them at Target. You can get them anywhere you want to go, Walmart, Barnes and Noble. They're picture books that are just absolutely incredible, and they talk about young women becoming engineers and scientists. I just love these books. I think they're so great. Another one that I really, really, really love is A Meerkat Diary. If listen, I know we all love animals. The meerkats are so cute and adorable, but there's so much fun learning about meerkats and animals that the students can learn. How We Got to Now is a book by Stephen Johnson. That one's really fun. You learn about all the inventions that are took us to where we are now. The Physics of Everyday Things is a really new, cool book talking about how the science of every ordinary things. Neil deGrasse Tyson wrote a book, The Astrophysics for People in a Hurry. He also now just created a new book for young readers called The Astrophysics for Young People in a Hurry. I recommend these books. On the side of my presentation here, you're going to see two looks, top science books for kids and top STEM books. Look at those links. Those are great links where you can find more books, but please go to the library. There's so many opportunities, and your library does extend other ways of learning, like STEM camps and other ways of learning. I'd also say there is science in your neighborhood everywhere you go. Science fairs. I love a good science fair, and I'm going to tell you about a really cool science fair that you can join this month virtually. Environmental cleanups and volunteering. astronomy nights. There are STEM and STEAM boot camps that start to pop up all over the place. Robotics and coding clubs, maker fairs, aquarium and zoo visits, science camps, citizen science projects. Actually a lot of organizations out there that are doing science, whether it's cleanups or it's other science places where you can volunteer. I highly recommend looking at your neighborhood and seeing where you can do it. Gardening, sustainability projects, recycling. I just love the fact when you garden, it's not only social emotional learning, it's patience. You're tending to your garden, but then you can bring that back and you can do the science of kitchen in the kitchen. You can do cooking, which is also math. And I'll tell you the other thing. My new friend here down at the bottom, April, she's big into nature walks, and there's so much you can do with an amazing nature walk if you just open your eyes. Besides the just the ability to just take care of yourself, there's so much science that can be done in an awesome nature walk. So just don't forget that science is everywhere. It can be all around. Whatever you might need, there's opportunities for you to connect with science.
Scott,
Science
I,
fairs.
Scott, I wanted to interrupt you to say we have about 2 minutes left.
Thank you so much. Science fairs. Right now, Home Science Tools is having a virtual science fair. Okay, at the bottom, and there's a link there. This science fair is open. Registration is open through April 14th. We have scientists, we have a marine biologist judging. You can do do your own, submit your own science fair project, and you could potentially win a HST microscope, your own microscope. So at the bottom of the screen, there's a link. Go to homesciencetools.com/virtual science fair so that you can enter in and you can do your own science fair project. But you're going to see all the great things that a science fair can offer. And just look at the smiles on these kids. Not only did they have a great time learning, but they also got an opportunity to kind of share their own learning with other people. At the end of the day, you don't just learn science, you do science. And we believe hands-on science is that way of connecting kids to the real world. Now, my most exciting news of the day. My good friend, April Rubio, has just decided to join Home Science Tools. She is a California girl. She's a product of California education. She's a former California educator. And she's come on with her expertise of being in the field to bring you guys everything you might need. April, would you please say hello? It's so great. It's so great to have you as part of the team.
Thanks, Scott. So hello, Visions in Education family and partners. I wanted to just extend great gratitude to be here with you today and also to partner. If you have any questions about our product lines, if you have ideas for products that we could bring on, to Home Science Tools, or even if you're stuck trying to learn how to teach something, reach out. I love connecting. I'd love to help. And I'm always here, and my contact information is on the screen.
Again, thank you so much, everybody, for having us here today. If there's anything that we can say is, I'm going to quote Benjamin Franklin before I go. Show me and I forget. Teach me and I learn. Involve me and I remember. And when you get involved and you're doing those hands-on science, it's going to make that learning so much more engaging. It's going to make it sticky, and it's going to make for an incredible learning opportunity. We all want to say thank you from Home Science Tools. Have a great rest of the day, and please let us know if there's anything else we can do for you.
Scott, April, thank you so much for presenting today. And families, we're going to go ahead and stop this recording so that we can start to do some question and answer if that is a need.